Hey there, how's it going? Are you good? Mess on the wall, brilliant. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make video thumbnails. So I've had only three people, but three people nonetheless, ask me how to make video thumbnails. You know, make them nice and pretty and all that stuff for their videos. So I'm going to show you how to do that. This right here is Peanut, sleepyhead as usual. And for some reason there's a hammer on the floor. Not too sure why that's there, but it's there. Also, we have this baseball bat. So if anybody wants to invite themselves to my house, you have to deal with that first, and then deal with this, and then deal with me, and then by that time it's probably going to be too late, so you're going to have to go back home. Also, we've got Pancake right here just outside the room. Okay, so normally what I do is I try to take a screenshot from the video I've made if it's possible. Sometimes it's not, so right now I'm going to pretend that it's not possible, and I'm going to show you each and every step I would take to make a video thumbnail. Okay, so this is my desk right now. It's a bit of a mess, but I'll be putting this on top of there, this keyboard on top of that keyboard once it's on top of that, and the rest of this stuff will be moved to one side because we want a nice clear space I can take a picture of this against. Okay, so this goes on top of there, and then this is gonna go on there like that. Okay, so now we've got a nice clear space to take this picture with. I want to put this there. I want to get some accessories out of the box for this and put them next to it, because some of these accessories are kind of funky, and if you've seen the previous video, which is the video for this, then you'll know what I'm talking about. So having those in the video thumbnail will also help attract viewers and basically just show what comes with it. So here we have the box. Alright, so we've got a carry can in this. Take that out, put that there, and in here we've got, let's see, right, so I'll just take that and that out. Maybe even this brush. Okay, so these are the items we're going to be taking a picture of. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to arrange these in some sort of order. So it's going to be a little difficult, but we'll see what we can do. I'm going to put that there like this. This can probably stay where it is. And then we've got these things. Position that like this or something. Nope, that's not working. Let's just leave it like that. Okay, so this one will go, this one can go there like this. Okay, so let's just say we've got everything set up now, and I'm not going to be taking a picture from this angle. I'm going to be taking it sort of from like here or something. So you kind of get the idea now. It's out of focus and everything, but this isn't the camera I'm going to be using. So talking about the camera that I'm going to be using to take this picture, it doesn't really matter what camera you use, so long as you get the items in the shots. Any editing and stuff you can do in post. Okay, so this was just an example. What I'll do now is I'll just set this up properly and I'll take a picture. Okay, so let's say everything is set up now, and this is how I want the items to be. Now, do you see how the dark bits on the items seem to blend in with the background? Well, that's going to be a bit of an issue. So if the items were a little lighter in color, what I would normally do is I'd grab something like this. This is the side of a computer. What I would do is I'd take this, and it's made of metal, by the way, so I would put that there against the monitor, and now you see how these items have a backdrop. But with these items being dark, what I'd rather do is have a light background, so I'm going to need something else. Okay, so I've managed to find something, and it's actually the box that this came in. So that's going to go over here, just like that. And now we've got a white background. Okay, so I've just taken a picture, and it's time to move all this back. And what I'll do now is I'll jump into Photoshop and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so here we are in Photoshop. You might want to click on Create New and then set your dimensions to 1280 by 720. Don't do anything other than 1280 by 720. This is alright the way it is. I usually just leave it on 72, but for today I'm going to make it 200 for some reason. Also, this right here is usually on 8-bit, but for today I'm going to make it 16. So I'm just going to create. Alright, so onto this blank canvas right here, what I'll do is I'll just drag my picture that I've taken, and then you'll have this thing pop up. So this right here will only pop up if you drag in a raw image. So this will help you set up the shot, so exposure, contrast, and all this lot down here. You can just press auto and it'll do something for you, but I like to do it manually. So I'm just going to run through this quick. Alright, so I think that should be about good enough. Now what I'll do is I'll just press OK. Okay, so as you can see, this is a little cropped on the edges. I'm just going to pull this to the sides like this. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm keeping hold of Shift to make sure the aspect ratio is correct. And then just press Enter. And there we have our picture. So what I'm going to do now, create a new layer. Okay, so I've selected this brush tool right here, and what I'll do is I'll press Alt and select white from around here somewhere. And I'll make sure the opacity is at 100. And what I'll do is, I'll make sure, I don't know if you can see them, but there's like these vertical stripes, these lines. Well, I'm going to get rid of those vertical lines in this cardboard background right here. So basically just go like this. What I'm going to do is, I'm also going to use this selection tool right here. Quick select. Now, it's not going to be perfect, but you'll only really see these if you look close up. So most of the time, I don't even bother. I just leave them. All right, so let's say we have selected everything the way we want it to be. What I'll do now is right-click the selection, select inverse, layer via copy. And now if we make this background invisible, and this thing that I made white, now we've only got these. So now we've only got the things that have been selected, so everything seems all right. All right, so now what I'll do is I've created a new layer. I'll drag that below this. This one right here at the top, by the way, is just these items. I just want to make sure this background here doesn't have those vertical lines in it. So basically, anytime I use this brush tool, what I'm doing is I'm pressing Alt and I'm selecting the color from the picture. In the area, I'm going to be using the brush, because if I select a color from over here and then I use a brush over here, you see how it's too bright? Well, if I select the color from here and then I do this, you can barely tell. So I'm going to do this all the way along. So I was thinking of getting rid of this line right here, but I might just leave that. I'll select this area right here. Luckily, that's pretty horizontal. If I press hold the shift and I select again, that will add to the selection. So I'll just select a bit more. And now what I'll do is, like I said, I'll select the brush tool. So brush tool and Alt, and then select a color from here. And there we go. I'm going to do this all the way down. As you can see, there was a bit of shadow cast from this. So I'm going to undo that. I might just use a gray from this side, so it's not too much of a difference. We can always just blend this a little bit later on. And there we go. That should be good enough, I think. Now what I'll do is I'll lower the opacity to around 40, and then we can blend. So you see how there's a difference between this one and this one right here, the shade of white. So now I can just go like this and blend it. And you will barely even notice. I'll say that's about done. Should we add a little bit of blue to this? Because in my video, there is a bit of a bluey sort of a color. This time I'll use the selection tool again, and then select this and select that. Well, now what I'll do is I'll go to this blue and we'll choose, say, not too sure, a rough guess, and then make a new layer. This is going to be on top of these. Set it to color, and I'll just go like this. And that's basically that done. Just lower the opacity on that a little bit. I think about that much should do. There is a bit of warmth to this picture. I should have used a slightly cooler color, to be honest. There's a bit of a mark on this. We'll get rid of that using Spot Healing Brush Tool. Make sure the item layer is selected, and then that goes on there like that, and it's gone. There's a white dot here as well, so get rid of that. Everything else is more or less fine. What we can also do is probably add some text to it. Now I'm going to write something like best vape in the world, best herbal vape ever, something like that. Okay, so best herb vape ever. I think that's all 4-letter words. All right, so this is going to go over here like this. Because we have a white background, I can just make this black, which saves a lot of time. And then on the left side, we can write DaVinci IQ. Like so. I might just pretend that I had the other tip on this, because this comes with 2 tips. One is a more discreet tip. The other one is this. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly Photoshop this and make it look as though it's the other tip. The one that doesn't stick out like this, because it's kind of sort of clashing with these letters. So I need to get rid of that. Make a new layer. 0.4 feathering, and then like that. Select the background color, make it more opaque, and there we go, get rid of that. Looks a little better. We'll have to do some blending on the background in a second. Well, that's not even the background, it's the it's layer 5. Lower the opacity to 40, 38, and then do some more blending. It's all about the blending. When you get your hair cut and it's not blended properly, you look an idiot, so it's almost always about the blending. All right, so that's more or less done. Now I just need to sort this out. Might just use a clone stamp tool for this. So with the clone stamp tool, what you do is you press Alt on the area that you wanted to copy from, and this icon shows up right there. So you select it, and then you move over to the area you want to put it on, and there you go, you get that. So it looks as though that's how it was. And then after a short while, it begins to look normal. Right, so this bit right here is reflecting the thing that was sticking up. So we need to get rid of that, and that is pretty easy. So I'm just going to clone this. All right, so there we go. I need to just tweak it a little bit, make it look a little more believable. Okay, so there we go then, that's done now. You can't even tell, to be honest, and if you've seen this video and you've seen the thumbnail for it, you wouldn't have known the difference. Shall we maybe change the colour of this, because I'm not too keen on this sort of a yellowy, sort of warm feel. I'm talking about the table, by the way. What I'll do is I'll just select the table area, and we'll get a bit of blue. Put that in there like this. Then we go to this blend mode type. There we go, that looks a little better now. So this is before, and then that's after. Okay, so what else can we do to this? Shall we make this orange? I mean, the writing on the DaVinci box is orange. Stroke, we'll stroke it. That is a stroke, it's a bit too thick. Drop shadow. What I'll do is I'll change the shadow position to match the icons. Icons, why do I keep calling them icons? To sort of match what's going on in reality in this picture right there. So drop shadow and change it to about there, and maybe even a bit of that. Maybe I'll swap these around. So let's make this bigger. Yeah, I think that just might be good enough. Okay, so seeing as though this is more or less okay now, what I'll do is I'll create a vignette. Now I'm going to do this completely manually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the feather on this. This is an elliptical marquee tool. I'm going to set it to about, not too sure now, 40 something. Drag it from this corner to that corner. Select inverse. And then get the paintbrush. Select black. And then just go over it like this. And there we have our vignette. Now that's a bit too much, obviously. So this is where you lower the opacity and get it just about right. Doing that sort of sets the focus on this in the center right there. I could have done with making the picture a little different, to be honest. I just wanted to put all these items in the shots. But yeah, that is more or less how you make a thumbnail for your videos. So if you have any questions or anything, let me know. So here we are at the end of the video. I actually filmed this before jumping into Photoshop, but if you need help with anything, let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Stay tuned for more videos to come, and I'll see you in the next one. Still pointing at something.